Hello everyone. How you doing? I hope you're fine. You're welcome to this special edition of Fuji's Up International Women's Month special edition. And we're really starting on a very wonderful note. I just want to say thank you very much for joining us today. I want to promise you it's going to be a wonderful time and a wonderful engagement. Today's theme, because it's a special theme, as we said, this is Women's Month for those who understand how much is very important to us. And the theme for today is from farm to table, women shaping the future of food and farmers' well-being. So that's just what we're going to be doing today. So while we are trying to settle down, while we're trying to engage, I also want you to please engage in wherever you are. Please engage online. Let us know where you're coming from, where you're watching from. Just drop your name, your location, where you're joining us. You mean a lot to us because without you, we will not be able to have this engagement today. So we want you to please let us know where you are joining us from, wherever you are, whichever continent, town, city, village. You mean a lot to us, and let us enjoy this time. Is the Food Gist of International Women's Month Special Edition. Today we are celebrating women, celebrating great women who are working behind the scene to ensure things are working effectively. So just show some love. Let's see, show some emojis while we just spend 1 or 2 minutes while we settle down, allow people to join so that we can have a wonderful time together. So I will just give you about 1 2 minutes. Drop a message. Let us know where you are joining us from, the country, and what's your area of interest. What's your area of interest? Are you into agriculture? Are you into health? Are you into business? Are you into food production? Or are you someone, because there's nothing you do in this world that we can't do without food. Food is very important. So please make sure you engage. I welcome everyone. Our guests, they are ready behind the scene, waiting for you to join us so that we can have a wonderful time. So please just drop your name, where you're joining us from, and let's have that engagement and that conversation. It's still the Food Gist of Special Women's Month edition. And today's theme is from farm to table, women shaping the future of food and farmers' well-being. So that is what we're doing today. So make sure we hear from you because it means a lot to us. So please, let's keep engaging and let's keep having this wonderful edition. It's all about how we can make food production, how we can make our food system more effective. So that's one of the things that we are doing. So please, let's see how we can enjoy. So I'll be expecting wherever you're joining from. Make sure you drop your message. Tell us where you're joining us from so that we can have a wonderful engagement. So please, I'll be expecting that. So make sure you join us. So that is very important. So it's about food gist, it's about food production. Please, what you can also do is that you can go on your status. You can just share this link and let people know that we have started. I'm going to do that right now because we need to see how we can join, how we can engage. So please, let's join. We're live now online. So please make sure. So tell your friends, tell people around because this is very important. There's nothing in this world. There's something I usually say that if you are going to suspend anything in this world, you can't suspend food production. Food production is very, very important and important to us. So today we're talking about food. I had this morning, you had this afternoon. I also had this afternoon before coming because I need food to come and talk to you. So food is very important, and our health also is very important because even for medical doctors, thank God we have a doctor in the house. She's also going to share that experience because even when a patient is trying to recover, what they tell the patient is this: make sure you eat. You need to eat because without food, you can't even take those drugs. So food is very important, and that's just the beauty of it. So let's keep engaging, and I believe that it's going to be a wonderful time out. So please, it's very important that we engage. So please, let's talk to our friends. I'm also trying to talk to all the communities I belong to so that they understand that we should be part of this. So let's make sure we are part of this. It's a very important edition. So please join us. Please join us now. So that's very important. So let's go live. Let's go live. Let's go live. Let's join. So please make sure we show that love. Show that emoji once you join. No, let's not. Let's just see how we can engage effectively. So it's very important. Let's see how we can join. Okay. Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so because of time, we don't want to waste too much of our time. So it's very important that we just have to start up, and we believe that our audience, our participants, wherever they are, they'll be able to join us. So, as I said, today we'll be talking about from farm to table, women shaping the future of food and farmers' well-being. And this is one of the things we'll be talking about today. And when we say farm to table, we are talking about what happens from the farm to the table. Because most of the time, we don't know the history, we don't know the story behind the food we eat. Most of the time, we consume food on our table, but we've forgotten that there's a track record, there's a pathway from the farm, through the different levels of value addition and processing, and it gets to the table where you are eating and consuming it. So that is it. So that's just what is important. Today, we'll be talking about some of these women, especially women, those who are behind these stories, behind the beauty of what you're doing. We're talking about farmers, we're talking about innovators, we'll be talking about scientists, and we're talking about entrepreneurs, those who are behind the scene working to engage. So those are the things. So we'll be looking at health and well-being because one thing is this: for those of us in agriculture, we believe so much in the power of the well-being of the farmer because the farmer is fine. If he's ill and hearty, he's free from any sicknesses or diseases, he will be able to produce more food. So that is very important. So we'll be connecting this dot between agriculture, food system, health, and well-being. So those are the things we're going to be doing. So please make sure you are part of what. And today, as we said, if you also look at the speakers lineup, we have a food technologist building safer, smarter food solutions in our midst. We have a young, also female farmer redefining modern agriculture when it comes to the agricultural space. And again, also we have a scientist working on pathways to healthier communities. So thank you for those who are just joining us. You can just drop your emoji. Let's see you. Tell us your name. Let us know you. Where are you joining us from? Make sure we know about that. So please let's see how we can enjoy. So that's very important. Without wasting time, because I feel that I know we have people who have joined us already. That's just the thing. So make sure you join us and let's see how we can enjoy ourselves. So it's very important we do that. So we also working we entertain comments and whatever you have to join us today. So please talk to your friends, share it on your status, tell them that we have started. The show has started. This is one of the biggest events when it comes to celebrating women, in their cultural space. So without wasting time, I'll be starting with the first speaker. So we'll be having this first speaker with us, and we're going to start with her. She's when it comes to issues surrounding food system. When it comes to issues surrounding food production, she has done a lot in the area. I watched one of her videos and I discovered that she's someone that believes so much in telling indigenous storytelling, that is believing so much in the power of using local languages, what people can connect with to educate others. And this is what we need. We need to see how we can step down the communication mechanism. And that's what we do. That's what I believe in. How can we localize our communication system? Because we cannot all be speaking English and speaking grammar all the time. We need to see how we can connect with that community, with that farmer, with that boy on the street, with that woman or that lady on the street who probably might not be able to get that understanding of the English that we're talking about. So before I bring in my guest, I'm going to show this short clip about her. This gives you this understanding of the place of communication. Because as I said, we have Dr. Ifeolu Agbala in the studio. So let me just show you a clip of this is because to me, I see it's more of an inspirational video. I feel that it's something that everybody should also really learn from. So we'll be showing that to you so that you're going to have an understanding of who she is and what is she passionate about, because she's someone that is so passionate about communicating about health and well-being. So we'll be having this video shortly. So
Cervical cancer and the cancer will affect the lower part of the womb where you body called cervix. This cancer now one virus, HPV for short, cancer. As we did so, this virus no get cure. This virus no they look person face before you catch am. And cervical cancer, you know they look say who get money for poor catch am. Now anybody we get cervix fit get cervical cancer. And now anybody we don't dey knack fit get cervical cancer. For Nigeria, now about 10,000 women doctor they discover say get the cervical cancer for 1 year. And about 8,000 women they die sake of say they get cervical cancer. This virus, abi cervical cancer, no dey quick show for body, especially being just the start. And now why they very important, more they check our body from time to time, say this virus no dey, and say cervical cancer never start for body. The good news we say, we fit protect ourselves, make cervical cancer no reach our side. And now two things be the cocoa. Number one, we will make sure say we check our body from time to time, say this virus never enter, and say no yama yama, they are cervix, we call cancer. HPV get vaccine, so they say no, and now bonge they work well. The thing is, now adolescents still they get within your area to ask question if you get the vaccine. I beg, go check your body, make sure say this virus no dey. I beg, ask about the vaccine if you take am. And lastly, no close mouth. Share the message, tell your family and friends. We gotta save ourselves.
So we'll gather save ourselves. So that is a great message. As I said, she's someone that is passionate about communicating and ensuring that people understand what we are saying. So without wasting time, I'm going to bring on stage Dr. Ifeoluwa Bala. She's very passionate about things that has to do with well-being. She's a postdoctoral researcher in tumor virology, GE. That video is from also, I think, a place of work, and she's deeply passionate about health awareness, especially for women who are constantly giving to others, but often neglect themselves. That is a very key word. Women who are constantly giving to others, but they neglect themselves. Our health is very, very important. Most of the time, we spend a lot of time we give to others. We spend time, working on the farm, working in our place of work, but we forget that we need to also take care of ourselves. My father usually says something that everybody needs a green grass. People will come and feed on your grass, and if your grass is not watered, once it becomes brown or dry, they will leave. So don't say, oh, because I can't leave him, I can't leave her, I have to take care of her. No, 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 take care of yourself. So you're welcome, Dr. Ifeoluwa Bala. So you're welcome.
Thank you very much. It's so great to be here.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. And I said I'm so excited with your mode of communication. But let me just quickly start, because I know I've seen about 2 or 3 of your videos using pidgin language. What really motivated you into that? Because I know everybody wants to speak English. People say phone. Everybody wants to be on the phone level. So what really motivated you into even thinking that there was need for us to localize our language?
Okay, thank you for that. I am somebody who is very passionate about communication. And being a scientist, one of the things that you realize is you're doing a lot of big stuff in the laboratory. But then there is that gap between what you're doing and how the audience, the public, the end users perceive it. So science communication became something that I absorbed over the years. How can you simplify what seems like a bogus thing that you do in the lab that seems scary to the people? How do you take it to the audience? How do you take it to the public and make it understandable to the layman? And then you begin to see that majority of these lapses, you see it in health
Yeah.
awareness. A lot of
mm,
things are going on that people do not that people do not know about. If CDC, for instance, puts out a message, it is in crisp English or the major languages that are spoken around the world. So it's in French, it's in English, it's in maybe Portuguese. But how many people in the population of Nigeria understand French? How many of them
yeah,
speak the Queen's English? So if you really
mm,
want something to be effective, it must be understood. And how do you make
mm,
people understand what is not effectively communicated? I mean, communication is a full triangle, right? There must be the
mm,
message, the messenger, and it must be understood by the recipient. So
yeah,
that was
yeah.
what prompted me into how can we simply, I don't speak the best pidgin. I mean, if you watch those videos, there will be a lot
Mm,
of,
yes, I got it.
I don't
Was
speak
but you
very
still communicated, yeah.
exactly. So I'm trying. That is what actually motivated me to start putting up videos in at least pidgin. I have a few in Yoruba that I'm not proud to put out yet, but, but hopefully with time I might be able to do that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well, it's we all learn. What matters is that no matter what, at least they're able to pick up one or two things. So even if I'm not too fluent in pidgin, but I still have to communicate and they understand. Even for Yoruba, yes, I know some of us who have also a good, we are from Yoruba tribe. Even if you have that difficulty, one way or the other, there are ways we chip in, the key Yoruba words to make sure that they connect and communicate with us. So that's good. So let's just go straight in the question. So in terms of your journey, when it comes to your research, thank God you said you are someone who is passionate about communication. How do you realize, how from when did you realize the essence of health awareness? Because most of your videos, it's all about awareness, awareness, awareness. And there's something I also believe so much in is that the power of prevention is better than cure. Because most of the time we should avoid even running to the hospital to start taking those drugs or going through that test or that examination. So at what stage, especially when you look at women in agriculture, so at what stage did you realize that there's need for awareness? Is this probably something happened or you got to know about someone probably that you should have listened or probably heard about it and all of a sudden he or she was not able to get it? Yeah.
Right. Thank you. So I grew up in a home where health consciousness was a priority. If you
Okay.
tell my dad you have a headache, in minutes you're at the door of a doctor. So it became habitual for me personally to
Mm.
sort of think, I want to know more about diseases. I want to know more about how
Yeah.
my body works. So I grew up assuming that that is a norm in every family, in every
Mm.
clime. So when I got to the university and we're going for the scheme, I was privileged to have my second one in a medical laboratory. And then I realized a lot of pregnant women, I mean, very pregnant women, were coming in for genotype and blood tests. And that was a bit shocking for me because from what I knew, you shouldn't even be
Not working well.
procreating without knowing that. So I was really surprised to see pregnant women coming to test for their genotype. Well, I thought it was just part of the antenatal documentation, so it's no big deal. But my curiosity was not silenced. I decided to have a conversation with one of the women. Is this the first time you are having this test? And I was actually shocked that not only did she not understand the test she was coming for, but she also didn't understand the purpose of it. So all she realized was she had abnormal symptoms. She saw the doctor and she was given a piece of paper, go and do this test. So from that moment, it changed my mentality where I assumed that everybody knew the basic things about their health, the cheapest of information, and made me realize that there is a huge gap between people's understanding of what you consider the most basic things when it comes to health and well-being. So that was a critical moment for me, and that was just the milder ends of things when it comes to genotype and blood group. It was on the milder end of things. So that experience, that sideways experience in the university, really became the initial motivation for me to continue to explore health awareness in general.
Okay, but what do you, because sometimes also people have, let me just quick chip this in. Some people have also phobia because sometimes some of this health awareness to makes us afraid. because when you start saying a lot of, let me say, medical, let me say, terms, and say, oh, this is what happens when this happens, and you people are so afraid when there's that prick on their, either the blood comes out, and there's someone takes their sample, they are shaking, they don't know what will happen. So sometimes people run away and say, well, I don't want to go through that fear, I don't want to go there. So, what do you? Because I think from your own angle, do you think that also could be a justification, the reason why people don't are not interested in things like this?
You're absolutely right. That is definitely a contributing factor. And I think there is a notion that is not just in a Nigerian community alone, it's sort of global, that what you don't know don't hurt you. So
Yeah,
that happens a lot of times, that people do not want to know, especially women. You mentioned something initially, because women play very key roles in the society. So in the family, you see yourself as a backbone. You have your
yeah,
children that you want to support. You have your business that you're chasing. You have your career that you're chasing, and any slight disruption to that carefully planned timeline, you don't even want to
mm,
entertain it. So the thought
yeah,
of going to the hospital and the doctor says, madam, I'll have to delay you, or I have to admit you, I'll have to put you on another shed. We don't even want to hear it at all. So people choose denial as a form of protection, but it is
yeah,
highly detrimental, because
mm,
in the case of diseases, what you don't know actually has a higher tendency to kill you.
mm,
And that's the main thing. So people definitely have the phobia to receive bad news, which is human nature. But what we need to bring into realization is sometimes it's better that you know early. That way you can tackle it, especially for big words like cancer. People don't want to hear it. They think it's an automatic death sentence, but that's
yeah,
not the case. Early detection actually helps you have a good chance at surviving the situation. Yes, it's going to be traumatic. Yes, it's going to be expensive to manage. But if you're able to detect early enough, then you can protect yourself. So I think it's just about softening the climb for everybody. That denial is
mm.
never protection. And sometimes knowing does not mean that's the end of everything, but it gives you a chance to actually redesign everything and have a chance at doing better. So I think that's also one thing.
Okay, so just to add to that, because now for those who we are focusing, also celebrating women who are working in that space, and I know probably one way or the other you met some of them, because they are very busy, they are always on their farms, and they don't want to leave their farms. What do you think? Why do you think these health checks are often ignored, especially by this set of people? Wonderful, because they are wonderful, but sometimes they feel because I know, because when you get to the hospital, you can't spend one minute, 2 minutes. There's always this long process. Sometimes you spend 2 hours, 3 hours, and she's thinking of, oh, my poultry birds are there, my farm is there, nobody's taking care of it. So what are some of the risks of this? Because that's always an issue, because people feel that the time spent in the hospital, I could have used it to do something else. So what are some of these risks, and why do you think people, try to ignore some of this health check? Because I know you've had conversation with people like that who are so busy. They are very busy and they are very important to us. But they just feel that, no, 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 don't worry, I'm okay, I'm fine, I'm fine, don't worry. If I work, I'm talking to you. So if I'm talking to you, then I'm fine. So what are some of these things that are, yeah.
I actually belong to that category. I'm just going to be very honest. Sometimes
Mm,
it's just, oh no, it's just a slight pain. It will pass. And
mm,
I think when you belong to that category of busy woman or career woman or professional woman, whichever label we put on it, we often shortchange on personal care, and sometimes it is not deliberate. But we are so passionate and invested in what we are doing that we want every amount of time to have a turnaround of success. And
yeah.
it's very easy to be trapped in that passion space where you put in all your time just into what you're doing. And then subtly you're neglecting personal care, which involves even the basic things like getting your hair done, getting your nails done, and most importantly, catering for your health. Like you rightly mentioned, we are calculating 3 hours wait time to see the doctor, another day to go back and have a follow up. maybe another 3 hours to go to the laboratory. By the time you say, oh, that is 8 hours from the 40 hours I plan to work this week, I cannot afford that. So you just say, okay, next week. And before you know it, next week be like, okay, another the following week.
mm,
Then you keep pushing it. And then you realize that within a month, you've not been able to take a moment to actually go for that check.
mm,
And another angle to that is what I briefly mentioned, which is denial. We do not want people who look up to us to see a moment of weakness. So we are so trapped in this part of oh, I have to be there. I have to be there. My family needs me. My business needs me. So in that climb of not showing weakness, we are damaging ourselves by putting on a facade like everything is okay, but it's not. And
yeah.
another angle to that is that some women don't just know. It's not because they don't have the time, it's not because they are not willing to go, but they do not even understand, if it's not malaria and typhoid, what else can be wrong with me? I'm not coughing, I don't have body pain, so what am I going to check? What is there to check? And I think that's the bigger umbrella here, that there is a whole lot of ignorance around what are the important checks that we need to make. And the risk of that is that so many diseases that could have been handled early and managed end up becoming very fatal and severe, leading to death, which is very painful. And then all this race comes to an end. So that is why I really appreciate talks like this that helps us to understand what are the things that should be routine, no matter how busy we are. What are the things we can incorporate into our lives as routine to help us stay informed and stay in check? Thank you.
Thank you. So before I go to Olivia, let me just quickly ask this because you talked about some of these checks that are very important. So since we are celebrating women within the agricultural space, from your own experience and in terms of ensuring that they live long and we need them in this space, we can't do without them. So what are some of these essential checks that every woman should prioritize? Because I know there should be some basic things that okay, you must check for this. It's very important. You can't joke with it. And even the irony of it now is that things are changing because I know when we're young, they always say that is when you are 40, 50, that's when you start thinking about it. But it's so unfortunate that now we have even people, even 20, 30, who are still also who are even prone to some of these things. So what are some of these essential checks that every woman, especially within the cultural space, because some of them they play with a lot of they play with sand, those who are working the poultry, they do a lot of things. So generally, so what are some of these essential checks that you feel that every woman should also take?
Thank you. First, I must say that I admire women who are into agriculture, especially those who are directly working on the field. I mean, thumbs up to you guys because I paid my way out. I paid of my way out of cutting grasses in secondary school. So I mean, I really respect what you're
Yeah,
doing.
portion. Yeah. Mhm.
Exactly. Uh, I know there is a lot of occupational hazards that comes with agriculture. Being out there, you're exposed to pesticides, you're exposed to fertilizers, you're exposed even the direct sunlight that falls on you every time. Everything when it comes to repetitive labor can constitute an occupational hazard. So the basic thing I always say, the moment you clock 25 in this present world, have a
Mm,
GP on speed dial. You need to have a general practitioner, a physician on speed dial. It is, you don't wait until you're sick. So the essential things that relates to women specifically is there is something called the Well Woman examination. So it's an annual gynecological check, well woman examination, and this involves review of your entire body system from head to toe, especially as it relates to hormonal changes that can affect so many other things within the body. If you have your well woman annually, you could do it. I do mine every 18 months, and it involves review of your menstrual cycle. Has it been regular? Did you notice any changes? Because all those tiny things that we don't pay attention to might actually be silently telling you something is wrong somewhere. But because we just don't, we just wave a lot of important things off like it's no big deal. So it's important to always have a well woman check. It's also very important to have an HPV and PAP test at least every year, every 3 years. And this is very important for those who are in the sexually active age. So from age 25 to age 40, every 3 years. And maybe when you're older, you can span it down to about 5 years. And this is why it is important. HPV is a very silent virus. It is one of the, at least currently, the most common sexually transmitted infection. Okay. And this has nothing to do with life choices because that's another myth that affects us culturally. We think because we live a very conservative lifestyle, we are immune to certain things, but that is not true. Even if you're living the holiest of lives, you can still be prone to some of this infection. So gynecological disorders is not a punishment of your lifestyle choices. It is actually a natural consequences of biological acts. So it is important that women incorporate HPV testing because persistent HPV infection can lead to cervical cancer, can lead to cancer of the genital areas. So it is important that the pap test that checks the cytology of your cervix to see if there are abnormal changes that could be indicating cancer is also included in your routine checks. And it's just every 3 years. So what could go wrong? And another thing that it's the clinical breast examination, mammograms. It helps to catch breast cancer at the early stage. So that can also be introduced as a routine one. I know you asked for three. I'm just going to ask. I'll include one because it's a trend now. We are in that
So you
climb
can
where
probably you can if you still have other ones because health is very important. So if there are if you have more than that, that's fine. Yeah.
okay, okay. Because we're in this climb where women are increasingly making informed decisions about, I want to push my business, push my career first before having kids. So you realize that these timelines are now falling a bit to the part of the graph where you consider a bit later towards the peak of procreation. And in situations like this, there is one test which I personally have included as my routine, and it is checking the egg quality. We tend to undermine this, but I'll tell you why that is important. Every day we are exposed to things that are possible carcinogens, to things that can affect the quality of life in general. And the quality of life is inclusive of the eggs that we carry in us that can be fertilized in the future to have children. So, in order to preserve yourself, preserve your progeny in the future, especially for women who plan to have kids later in life, it is important to include a quality check on your eggs. Checking your egg quality is also very, very, very important. And it gives you something, it helps you to relax that, okay, I can still go about my business, pushing the career, pushing my life. And eventually, when I'm ready to have kids, I have eggs that are good to go. So those are important. Again, have a GP that you can go in and check your vitals, have your well woman examination that reviews gynecological changes with you every year, HPV test and pap test, mammogram, clinical breast examination, include your AMH, egg quality checks, and those are really key. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. Before Olivia comes in, because I'm just learning, because I think this is the first time I'm hearing about the war woman examination. That's test because I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't think I've heard about that. So I think there's need to have this advocacy around it because I know HPV. A lot of advocacy around that. They show mammogram. They show even for egg quality, which is also very important because as you said, some people might say, okay, I want to take a break, but how much do you know how strong or let me say how viable is your egg? So that also is very important. So well, I know this will probably will still have more time, probably another edition to talk more about some of these things because they are very important because prevention, as we always say, is better than cure. So once again, thank you very much. So let me give you some time to take water, relax, and I will get back to you. So I'll be bringing Olivia to join us. Then after that, we'll have you back. Yeah, thank you. It's been a wonderful, time with you. Yeah. So Olivia, I hope you're there. Hello, Olivia. Olivia.
Hi. Yes, please. I'm here.
Okay, okay. Your camera is it? We can't see you.
My network is quite bad, so
Okay,
for
okay,
this
okay,
and the
okay, no
camera, I
problem.
might lose
Okay,
connection.
no problem, no problem. So quick one, because so looking at your story, let me see if I can, because I know I tried getting your video. Uh, let me see, because let me just give me a few minutes, because I know it's good also for people to, if they can also watch and see, because I've seen what you do, and I see it's something that is very, very important and vital. So let me see if I can quickly get your video out for people to see the great work you're doing. That's very important, I'm sure. Okay, okay. Okay, probably I'll try to do that later. So, without wasting time, let me just quickly introduce you. So we have Olivia Kipo. She's a farmer and co-founder of Koba OK Enterprises. She's a woman that is so passionate about issues surrounding farming. And I think also from our interaction over the years, when it comes to issues surrounding let me use the word vegetable farming. She's a pro when it comes to that. Even the video I wanted to show, I saw her on a bike, on her farm. She's a lady that is energetic. I wish that if I can still show you that video. She's a very energetic lady, very passionate lady about when it comes to issues surrounding farm production, vegetable production, and she's very vast to me. I see her as a leading light when it comes to Ghana, the Ghanaian, agricultural space. So, Olivia, can you still also tell us one or two things about you, so that we can also get to know you?
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's really exciting to be here. And for me, when I get an opportunity like this to tell my story, it's something that really inspires me because stories of people are the things that has also gotten us this far. So just like you said, into vegetable farming, specifically cabbage, green pepper, with pepper being the most dominant product that we farm. And aside just growing these vegetables, one thing we also do is that we are adding value to whatever we grow. So we have our powdered pepper, which is very hot. And it's also a way of helping to reduce post harvest losses. Because apart from the farming, one other thing we also do is that we engage rural people by training them in agriculture, climate smart agricultural practices especially. So these people that we train, they're able to get more higher yield. So as they are getting more higher yield, it's also important that we find ways of helping them to get more incomes. And one way they are able to do that is through value addition, when we add value to the produce that we produce. So I think basically this is a little about me that I just need to add to what you said. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Looking at agriculture, as you said, when it comes to the African system or the structure, we always see it as a lot of men are the ones also being, let me say, taking the lead. So, looking at your own story, because your story is inspiring, what are some of the things that drew you into agriculture, and what kept you going when things get tough? Being because to some extent we can't say it's not really a men's world, because we know that it has a lot of influence when it comes to men. So, what inspired you? What made you to join it? Because there are other things you could have done. You could have gone into, a full business. You could have gone into, the food industry. That's in terms of, catering. You can go into a lot of things, but you decided to go into the farm work. We're not talking about the value. We're right on the farm, the same way others were on farm. So, can you just tell us your story?
Okay, so growing up, currently I live in the Upper West region, which is in the northern part of Ghana. And the thing about this part of the country is that usually we have just one rainy season, and we actually have a longer period of dry season. So what happens during the rainy season is that Everybody grows maize, rice, granules, and other produce that can actually be kept for a longer period of time. But when you go to the southern part, they have two different rainy seasons. They have the major season, they have the lean season. You tend to see that the people over there, they grow a lot of vegetables, so there's a lot of variety. But when you come here, especially during the dry season, especially if you happen to be in a rural community, which is in an environment where I've had the opportunity to live in, you realize that mostly when these vegetables even come from the south, it ends in the capital city, which is Wa. And so those in the rural communities, usually getting access to these vegetables is usually a challenge. And that was when I decided that, okay, I have lived in a similar environment. I've seen the challenges that we face, especially when it comes to getting access to fresh vegetables. Because yes, we'll farm the maize because we can keep that for a longer period of time. We'll farm the rice, we'll farm the granules. But what about the other varieties that we could actually add to get more nutritious meals? And that was when I got motivated to go into vegetable farming because I have a science background. I actually studied biochemistry at the university, and I actually understood the importance of vegetables in improving diet. And that was why I chose vegetable farming. And just like you said, it's a very difficult area. That I must say is a very difficult area. And especially as somebody who wants to do this or who does this all year round. But one of the things that has kept me going is the impact, because I set out to do something. I wanted to make it more available and accessible, regardless of where you are. And I must say that it's one of the things that when I look back at, I feel really proud. And even when I want to give up at some point, then I think of all the people that work on the farm. I think of the customers that we are serving. We are making these vegetables accessible to, because that was the main aim, to make the vegetables accessible and affordable. So it's the one thing that keeps me going. When I just look at the impact from the customers to the employees to everybody that works on the farm, it's just the one thing that keeps me going. And I just don't want to stop. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. And I want to keep going. Thank you.
To me, it's you don't want to stop, you want to keep going. So that is very important, and that's a great lesson that we are learning. So let me see if I can show you the video. So that's the thing. So okay, so let's just go on because I try to also get it from the system, but I think it's better I get it online. So probably subsequently we'll be able to get that. So Olivia, so let me ask you this question: You've helped farmers produce all year round. What are some of these practical strategies farmers can adopt to reduce seasonal limitation? Because challenges that because now when it comes to climate change is a major issue, is a major challenge that we have now. Our seasons are fluctuating. When there's supposed to be rain, there won't be rain. When there's not supposed to be rain, there will be rain. But what you have been doing is that you have helped farmers to really plant all year round. And for someone who is watching this, who wants to go into agriculture, especially when it comes to vegetable farming, what are some of these strategies do you know that farmers can adopt, that you have adopted, that can help farmers to grow effectively during this period?
Okay. So just like I was saying, at our farm, what we do is that we actually grow our vegetables all year round, despite the fact that we don't have a longer period of rain. And one of the strategies we are currently doing is that we are using a solar irrigation system because we have the sun in abundance. Let me put it that way, because all the time we have like sunlight. So what we are doing is that we are making good use of the resources that we have. Because if we're going to use other means of irrigation, like using a petrol pump or a diesel pump, it means that that will be consuming a lot of fuel. And these machines also still help in releasing greenhouse gases into the environment, which is also still causing the climate change. But when we use solar, it's more climate friendly, so we don't get to release any kind of fuels into the environment. So one of the things that we help farmers to do, because we know that solar is expensive, getting solar irrigation is expensive, and a lot of the farmers that we work with are smallholder farmers, especially women in rural communities. So what we do is that we provide them training on climate smart agriculture practices in efficient water management using simple tools around them. One of the technique we currently have our farmers using is bottle drip irrigation. So this is a simple irrigation technique where the normal plastic bottles that we use to drink the water, the ones that we buy, is used as a source of drip. So you take these bottles, you perforate them, you put water and attach it directly to the plant, and it serves as a source of water supply to the crop. Immediately the water is done, you refill it. So this is a way that farmers are using to reduce water usage, because if they were going to water probably with a watering can, it means that they will even water parts of the land that doesn't have any crops, and maybe weeds will even grow. And aside that, the other things we are teaching them is soil, improving soil fertility through composting. So they take food waste, they compost it, and they use it to enhance the soil. They also prepare biochar. Biochar is also something that we teach them to do. Like I said, over here we grow a lot of rice, we grow a lot of corn. So what we do is that we use the hacks and the stalks of these crops to prepare biochar, which also serves as a soil enhancer. And these products also help to ensure moisture retention. So when they use these kind of practices, because we don't have a lot of rain, but the little moisture in the soil is being able to conserve through the use of the biochar and then that's of the compost that they use. So these are some of the practical techniques that we are currently using, and other local techniques like mulching, where you have to cover the soil with dry grasses or granite shells to prevent water loss easily. So these are some of the techniques that we are using. And then there are things that can easily be done. So it's easier for you to teach the farmer how to do it with little resources. Thank you.
Yes, I like the word, teaching the farmers how to, do it with little resources, because this is very laudable. For those who are just joining us, we are watching the special Women's Month edition of Food Gist Hub, an cultural communication platform. And the theme for today is From Farm to Table, Women Shaping the Future and Farmers' Well-being. And we've been on to a Dr. Ifeolu Agbala, and also we have Olivia Kipo, who is also with us. Sorry, Olivia had issues with her network. That's why you can't see her face. I know because of the network over there. So that's why you can't see her face. So, but what she's really churning out are great things that we can use in our cultural space in terms of sustainable farming. How can we use local products? Because I think, let me just quickly, Olivia, I think what you're trying to say, and also I think I will agree with you, is that you're trying to practice the essence of waste to wealth. That is using waste to whatever, instead of throwing them out, because like those plastic bottles, they have impact on the soil. So instead of throwing them away, we are using them also to replenish and enhance agriculture. So is this another way of upcycling of waste to wealth?
Yes, please. It's also because if these raw materials that we are using, like the plastic bottles, when they are bent, there are a lot of gases that are released into the environment, which is contributing to climate change. And the food waste as well leads to the
Yeah.
emission of methane and other gases all into the environment. But once we use them for these kind of practices, then we are saving the environment a lot of harm. We are really saving
Yeah.
the environment a lot of harm. So it's also a way of upcycling. Thank
Okay. So I know for you, you spent a lot of been in this business for many years. Can you share specific challenges, some of these challenges that you faced on farm, and how you were able to overcome it when others and then what others can learn from these experiences, probably along the line. What are some of these challenges? Because you have used a lot of technology. Technology is good. A lot of things are good. Being on the farm is very good. But there's always a story that people don't see. There's always this behind the scene that people don't see. So, what are some of these things that you feel that you have learned in terms of what are some of these challenges and were you able to overcome it, especially for someone who is interested in going into farming or agriculture?
Okay, this is a very interesting question. There are usually a lot of behind the scenes that people don't get to see. A lot. Um, a lot of things do happen on the farm. But one of the things I can remember that happened that pushed me to kind of think outside the box. Every day you have to think outside the box because the environment is evolving,
Mm,
so are the crops too. So you also have to think outside the box and evolve. One of the things that really pushed me was a pest infestation that happened in our cabbage. So we went to the farm the
mm,
previous day. Everything looks fine. We went back home, and I don't know if it's because of the environment. Then the next day we came back to the farm, and suddenly it's like there are perforations on the cabbages, which didn't happen the previous day when we were on the farm. So immediately we
mm,
had to start thinking, what can we do? And that was when we decided that we should use neem leaves. So neem leaves are very good when it comes to handling issues of pest infestation. So instead
mm,
of going back to town to go and look for pesticides to come back, we have to make you, because for me, I believe in making good use of the resources you have to the maximum. So the team came together, we got these leaves, we pounded it, we mixed it with water, and then we sprayed the crops. And then interestingly, few days after, the crop started recovering. So this was something that really pushed me that okay, even the environment has a way of teaching us to make use of its resources to help ourselves. So instead of even spending money on insecticides that probably could have even caused any harm to humans, now we are making use of natural products in the environment. And in the end,
mm,
we came up with a solution that we not only use on our farm, but it's something that we've given to the farmers, which is helping them to receive reduce cost of insecticides that they would have been purchasing. So it's one of the common challenges
mm,
that, and this is something that can happen as somebody who is looking to go into agriculture. You should be ready that these are some of the things that you face, and every day you have to innovate. Every time you have to just think. It's not always about spending money, but sometimes what can you do with the available resources? What are the things that you can do from other plants,
mm,
even if it's from animals? So it's one of the challenges that
mm.
I always like to talk about because it's something that really pushed us to think outside the box. Thank you.
Wow. So that's it because sometimes farming is very interesting. Farming, for those of us who want to go into farming, that's the most interesting, very because you see growth, you appreciate life. But sometimes the cons, or let me say the downside is, when you just have this large infestation of infections or whatsoever, or pests, which we don't usually pray for. But these are some of the, let me say, the other side. But some of these things, if you that's why I always say that if you want to go into farming, you have to have a strong mind. If you don't have a strong mind, don't bother to go into farming. But we need you to be in farming because it's just like business. Because for every business, there also be the ups and the downs. So just make sure that you're giving your best, and there's always a way out. So don't get disturbed. Don't get worried about it. So as we round off with you, because so that we can then also we have Dr. Bala with us. So in one sentence, what does the future of food and farmers' well-being look like as a woman in your own field? What does the future of food and farmer well-being looks like to you as a woman in your field? What's the future of food? So what can you say about it?
Okay, so for me, I see the future of food and farmer well-being as a resilient tech-driven ecosystem where women like myself, we are taking charge of sustainable production, improving food security, improving nutrition, and making sure that the world is healthy and well fed. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, wow. So before I leave you, before you go, quick one. I know probably I don't know that I've asked you before, but sometimes on a lighter note, I know you've learned a lot from Dr. Ifelo Agbalas because I hope you're also thinking of your own health check because your health is very important. Are you considering that?
Yes, so I am, and I think it's something that I regularly do because, like I said, I have
Oh,
a
wow,
health
wow,
background. So yeah, it's something
wow,
that I
wow, wow.
regularly do.
So, but looking, okay, so looking at this outside farm, how do you relax?
How do I relax?
Or everything is
Movies.
about farm, farm, farm. Don't you have like, okay, you watch movies. So what are you
Yes, I
watching of
watch
recent? What movie are
movies.
you watching? Okay,
Recently,
like
I'm
what type
watching
of
Beauty
movies?
in Black. Beauty in Black by Tyler
Wow.
Perry, I think. Yeah, Beauty in
Oh
Black.
wow, that's
That's
great. That's
yes,
great.
that's what I'm
That's
watching.
great.
Yes. And I love
Okay.
to
What's your
read
dream
as well.
destination?
My dream
Okay, what book are you reading?
destination.
Because I wanted to, okay, let's start with your dream destination. What's your dream destination?
My dream destination. I want to go to Paris.
Wow, wow, wow. That's France. That's great.
Yes, I want
That's
to go
great.
to
That's great.
Paris.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. So what book are you reading now?
So currently, I'm reading The Subtle Acts of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Yeah, that's the book I'm reading.
Okay, okay. I think I know that book. I know that book. Yeah, that's great. So once again, thank you very much for your time. We look forward to engaging you more. So probably that by that time you'll be able to share some more practical insights about agricultural production. Olivia, you've been someone that we respect so much, and we appreciate what you are doing. So keep it up, and we value what you are doing, and we see you as a great light in Africa and beyond. So thank you very much. So we appreciate you and keep doing well and keep engaging and keep impacting lives and take good care of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah. Or do you have any final words to say before we round up?
So I just want to tell other young people out there, because I know young people are listening, that if you want
Yeah.
to go into agriculture, the time is now. There's no right time. The right time is now. And it doesn't
Mm,
matter. You just have
yeah.
to start from somewhere. You can start small, and eventually, someday, with consistency and hard work, you will make it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. With consistency and hard work, we will make it. Thank you very much. Do enjoy the rest of your day. So thank you, our audience, and I hope you're really enjoying this. So if you're enjoying it, show your emoji, show how happy. I want to appreciate those who have joined us. Praise Akeju, thank you very much. We also have Praise Akeju. We she said it's important to have a well woman test. It's also important to have an HPV test. And also, thank you very much, Oladokun Ayomiposi. Hormonal change is one thing that is affecting a lot of women. Some of us don't even know. I think that also came from the Dr. Bala's engagement. And again, also, we have Good Living Chronicles said so many things to learn about for those of us who intend to marry wonderful women. Wow. Okay. I know. Yes. So for men too, it's always good. Make sure you encourage your woman to be. Also, for those who are married, make sure you encourage her to go for this test because these things are very important because we want our women to live long. And also for men too, I think probably subsequently in the next edition when we're going to have Dr. Ifelo Agbala, she'll be able to talk about what men too needs to also do so when it comes to their test. And again, also we have Olatunde Fallacy says, what you don't know ought you more. So that is it. So we're bringing on Dr. Ifeolu Agbala to join us as we round up this engagement. And there's been a wonderful time with her. So I believe. So yeah. So thank you. Dr. Efeoluwa, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful time with you. And I know a lot of our people, our audience are learning from this conversation. And from what someone is saying now, I think the feedback we're having now is that also, as much as we're encouraging women to, probably next edition or any edition we have, probably talk about men because men also needs to be taken care of. So that is very important. I hope we have tests also for men that men can take.
Absolutely,
Or is it all about women? Okay, okay, that's fine. Yeah. So let's go to the myth about busting. When it comes to education, there are often fears around cancer and screening because you mentioned it. People are always scared. Like, oh, when you mention that word, that C word, it's always that chills comes in because either someone, a loved one, has been affected. We had a lot of stories about it. What are some of the common myths you would like to correct for our audience today when it comes to this type of screening, even the HPV screening? What are some of the common myths? Because people are scared. Because to me, it's that bing, bing, bing. Especially when they bring in that, they always use this white envelope to come and give you your
right.
results. So to open that envelope is like big, 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 as if it's like you only possible. Probably tell someone to help you to open it. So what are some of the myths that you feel that we should correct when it comes to issues around cancer and any other screening or HPV or whatsoever, especially for women?
Okay, thank you. First, I would like to say to Miss Olivia, well done. You're doing an amazing job, and the fact that you're working a lot on environmental sustainability is just really impressive. I've done quite a bit into agricultural research in terms of biodevelopment of products, and I know that that's a good area that I'm happy to speak with you in a different climb on. So thank you for that. So back to the question. Yes, it is true that the sound of cancer is very scary to anybody, right? But the first myth is again the fact of if I don't hear it, it won't affect me. It will affect you
Mm,
regardless, whether you decide to know about it or you decide to ignore it. So it's better to know about it. Then the second thing has a cultural and religious undertone. And that is when we think certain things are reserved for those who are sinners, if you get what I'm saying. Nobody is immune. I'll give you an example with HPV. Even if you've only known one partner your whole life, that doesn't mean you cannot contact HPV. It has nothing to do with life choices. As a matter of fact, none of the gynecological cancers has anything to do with the life choices you make when it comes to mattress polo. It is just
mm,
a consequence of the biological act. So maybe that would help people remove the embarrassment and the stigma that comes with seeking appropriate screening and seeking for
mm,
appropriate help. So whether you're a mommy GO, feel free to walk into the hospital and request for an HPV test. And a nurse or whoever is attending to you should be knowledgeable enough not to look at you in a manner like, mommy pastor too is coming for this test,
mm,
because it is
mm.
absolutely normal. It is something that anybody, as long as you've been involved in mattress polo, you are liable to catch it. Is that pure and simple? So if we begin to remove all the
But
stigmas around
sorry,
this,
before you said mattress polo,
oh sorry,
because
okay, so
because
that's
I wanted to be sure because so for the layman,
yeah, for the layman, I was in mattress polo, any sexual activity. Sorry,
okay,
I was being mild with that. Yeah, so any
okay.
sexual activity, any sexual act at all, you are prone to catching some of these things. So we should bust the myth around that it's limited or reserved for certain people with certain life choices. And then the last part that I would also mention about myth is cancer is a death sentence. It is not necessarily a death sentence. Again, it has to get to a certain stage. Let's even leave cancer. There are so many that are not even as huge as cancer that are death sentences on their own. But what we are encouraging is that whatever the diagnosis is, face it, accept it, know about it, then work towards it. Denial will not heal. Again, I'm a strong believer in God. But at the same time, let there be a collaboration between medical and your prayers.
Yeah.
Miracles happen, true, but ensure that there is a basis. Okay, have your faith, have your work. Let them have a good harmony, so that you can have a perfect health and well-being in that area. So number one, cancer is not always a death sentence. Some of them are highly manageable. They can be cured. For instance, breast cancer removal can solve the entire problem and you prevent recurrence. Cervical cancer, if you catch it in good time, you can clear it. So let's not demonize. It's not meant for people with certain life choices. It is open to everybody. So let's remove the stigma and encourage ourselves to get screening, get tested without any embarrassment and stigma. Thank you.
I go to the other question, but there's also this belief that not in someone's family line, then there's no need to check for it because sometimes we grew up with that. So it has to do with, once it's not your family, forget about it. You don't need to test yourself. Is that true?
That's not true. There are certain diseases that have genetic predispositions, like the fact that it's in the family makes you liable or increases your chances. It's a risk factor that you might get it. We talk about things like hypertension. They ask you, does anybody in the family have it? Right? Um, but there are things that you can be the first person to have it in the family. Infections do not necessarily have to do anything with family lineage. Grandfathers may not even have anything related to HPV. That doesn't mean you won't have it. So we should begin to treat, as much as there are certain diseases that you have to trace a genetic connection to, there are a whole lot that has no genetic predisposition and you have to treat it with individuality.
Mm,
So the fact that it's not with the grandfather does not mean it's not coming to you, especially if there are things that has absolutely no interaction with your genetic makeup.
mm. Wow,
Thank you.
that's a great lesson because I also feel that it's high time everyone was now. I know for people who want to go into marriage, they always tell them do your that's your blood group and also your genotype and everything. I also feel that some of these tests too are also very important to prepare for marriage
Absolutely.
because I feel that it's something that we should all look into because everybody wants to live long with his or her own spouse. So, and the
Right.
earlier the better, you take care of it. And I think so. I think this should be something that marriage counselors should start even encouraging that you need to keep checking yourself to know.
Absolutely. Yeah, we tend to focus more on pregnancy tests, and that's the list.
Yeah.
That's not even the disease in it. That's that's not the disease in it. So we should focus more on what actually impacts life of both partners in the long term, as much as we still cater towards the moral aspect of it. It is important to also cater for the health background that goes into it, into
Oh,
matrimonies as well.
okay. But because I know for the cancer screening, when it comes to cervical cancer, there's always this, is it pap smear or what do they call it?
Yes.
Uh, People also have issues because they feel that, for example, if it's a male doctor, why will a male doctor come in and start, all those things? So, what do you have to say to that? And again, also people feel that also there's pain, it's painful. So, what
Mm.
message do you have, to people who feel that, oh, I don't want to go through that pain, that thing is a bit painful. And again, also the issue of a male doctor, why will a male doctor? Once it's a male doctor, then I don't need to.
Yeah, thank you. That's actually a very controversial thing. But the good thing now is that with HPV screening, we now have the self test collection methods. So, as
Oh,
a
wow.
woman, now we have things for self collection whereby you can do the swabbing yourself, and your only
Mm,
interaction with anybody is dropping the sample. So, that helps you to preserve the privacy because I understand. Conservativeness in that light, which is completely normal for everybody's right, how they feel with exposing their bodies. And again, it is not a painful process. It is a little bit of discomfort, not pain. So it's
mm,
just discomfort because you have. It's just like when you're taking a swab for COVID, and you have to dip
mm.
the swab a bit to
Yeah,
your
yeah,
to your nasal.
yeah. Mm.
Exactly. So it's not pain, it's just discomfort. So it's not a super invasive process. It's not an invasive process where you have to cut anything or stuff like that. But now we have the self-testing method and it's increasing. Another thing is that you can walk into health center and request for a female professional to attend to you if that's an option that is available and if that makes you much more comfortable. But again, we should always prioritize our health over certain factors
Mm.
that go. I mean, it takes 5 minutes to swab you, and that's it. So whoever you have an interaction with will probably not have a forever memory of whatever it is that happened. So we should be more liberal when it comes to saving our lives. That's from my own perspective, actually.
Yeah, yeah, you get it. Your life is also very important. So
Exactly.
let's look at this question. When it comes to women in agriculture, what are some of these simple health habits every woman in agriculture can start, this week, literally to save her life? What are some of these habits? Because again, I think I don't know if I'm right. I think when I was in school in those days, I think we have what we call zoonotic disease. I think you can there be transfer of because I know we have from Ebola, we have from the COVID and everything, but for just from the normal farm, the poultry farm, and all these other things, cows, do you think there could there be any transfer of infection? Because we also see that a lot of people are so careless when dealing with some of these animals and things like that. So there's a lot of carelessness to that.
Oh, sorry. I think my video went
Okay,
off.
sorry, your camera. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's fix that. Okay. Is it back on?
No, not yet.
Okay. And
Okay, yeah,
now?
it's back. Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so yes, you're absolutely right when it comes to talking about zoonotic diseases, zoonotic infections. They are diseases that are transferred from animals to humans, right? And okay, should we go deeply into this because I need to know if I'm delving away from the main topic.
No,
Aside,
it's fine because we are looking at the safety of our women. How
okay,
exposed are they? Because it's good that
okay,
they know whether they are exposed or not. It's just like someone who is working within the, let me say, the transmit where there are waves, or let me say electromagnetic waves. You tell them, okay, you have to take, as a milk and all those things. So when women are exposed, so what are some of these, challenges, when it comes to, because it's a space that they can't do without.
okay. So one thing I always encourage is if your work has any health hazards, occupational hazards that could lead to an alteration in your normal condition, the first thing anybody would encourage is personal protective equipment. Sometimes we get so comfortable, it's a routine. I've been doing this for years. I can handle. The fact that you're very competent does not eliminate the place of safety. Competence
Mm,
does not replace the need for safety. That's one key thing. So when people work on the farm, there are chances they come in contact with microorganisms, pathogens that they can transfer from even not just animals, even leafy vegetables. I've done a lot of work on antimicrobial resistance surveillance, and that is a phenomenon whereby people carry disease causing germs that do not respond to drugs. And that is another silent pandemic that
mm,
requires a whole different platform to talk about. And one thing that we've seen in research is that these pathogens are able to survive on leafy vegetables. So, for
mm,
people who use wastewater for irrigation, a major source of some of these disease causing pathogens that do not respond to drugs, antibiotics, especially, are wastewater. They form what you call biofilms, which is a community, a consortia of these organisms. They can survive on leafy vegetable. And because we keep encouraging people that preserve the vitamins that you get from vegetables with cooking mildly, you increase the chances of ingesting some of these things. So if you're a farmer and you're exposed to this thing on a daily basis, there are the chances that you have come in contact with an antibiotic resistant pathogen. And if your immune system is unable to completely clear it, it can cause fatal infections because now you have a common diarrhea, what we call common. And on a normal day, you would expect to take a set of antibiotics and you get better. But you realize there is persistence, it's getting more severe. It is because we have this grave situation whereby pathogens do not respond to normal antibiotics that would normally kill them. So the use of personal protective equipment cannot be overemphasized for anybody, male, female, that are involved in anything that exposes them to harms, especially with infections. Another thing is with chemicals. It is always important you understand safety data sheets. They are not included in packages for no reason. They're included because the
mm,
information on there are for you to protect yourself. So I'm using something that contains a potential carcinogen. What that means is it contains a chemical that has the potential of inducing cancerous conditions within your body. The manufacturer has done his own job by saying excessive exposure can lead to this. Some of us even buy
yeah,
sprays, we buy perfumes, colognes, and we don't even look at the
mm,
caution sign of being flammable. We don't look at that.
mm,
So, safety data sheets are information for you to also protect yourself as a user. It shows you the levels you shouldn't exceed. Sometimes we are so excited, we want to, oh, I sprayed it once, the bugs died. I might as well spray it twice so that it can hasten the process. Not only actually
yeah, yeah, yeah.
increasing, deposit of the things that are bad, you're also increasing your own exposure to it. And because we
Mm,
really don't
mm,
have a system that measures exposure, because there are certain climes that you go to, and then if you use a certain chemical, you go in or people come in to test and they can calculate your exposure time annually. And that tells you if you're exceeding the safety limit or you're still within the range. So, in a case whereby we don't have all of that, it is essential that we play our part by ensuring that we are familiar with the safety needs that everything that we use requires. So protect yourself, be conscious about making intentional decisions towards choice of what you use and the safety concerns around it. Thank you.
wow. Yeah, but let me ask you, because being an expert in that area, there's also this misconception that our forefathers, our forefathers will go to the farm,
Yeah,
take yam, put it inside, on, sticks, burn it, like roast it, and they eat it barely without even washing their hands.
right.
And they will say that they didn't die. So why are you telling us that something will happen to them? So is it that something has changed? Because they will say our forefathers has been doing nothing happened to them. So why are you telling us that we should change? Has anything changed?
You know what I usually say when people bring up that argument? The first question is, why are you living in a duplex? Was your forefather in a duplex? Why are you driving a fancy car?
Mm,
Why are you not walking to the farm? Why are you not riding a horse? Why are you not on a cattle? Okay. So if you embrace the fact that there are changes in tide and time and seasons, and we have a lot of things with urbanization and the pros and the cons of all of these advances. If you are able to accept that, then we should also come to the cognizance that nobody documented what happened then. It's always like
mm,
it's a myth when people say that people didn't die of infections then. So what spurred the innovations behind development of drugs is because people were dying.
mm,
Okay, in as much as there are certain practices that we think people did without caution then, we also did not know the safety that they put into it. For instance, there's something that in when it got to a stage, they changed it to superstition. I'll give you an example. For
mm,
your bagos from the culture, they say, "Oh, you do not sit on a mortar, right? You don't sit on a mortar because it will cause infertility." We say it's superstition. That is to show you that even in those days, they had caution for safety. Number one, if you sit
mm,
on something that is meant for preparing food, you can be transferring a lot of germs into it. So the aspect of fear
mm.
that they put into it that maybe you'll be infertile may not necessarily be because you'll be infertile, but it's just to instill the fear that gets you away from that. So our
Away from
forefathers
it, yeah.
also had their caution, so they didn't let all the caution to the air. And things are different. There is evolution of disease causing organisms all the time. They actually evolve faster than humans evolve because they also want to survive. So as you're planning to
Mm,
kill them, they are planning to kill you because that's the only way they can survive and keep existing. So let's not start bringing
mm,
in myths that support our ignorance and eliminating the thing. We choose to, sometimes we choose what favors us. We interpret so many things in
Mm,
parts that favor us. So if you really want to stick to what the ancestors did, move out of your current apartment, go back and live in a hut, do not use a TV, live life the way they lived it. But that is not what we have anymore. So it's important that we understand that times have changed, things have changed, and pathogens evolve. Thank you.
yeah, yeah, thank you very much. So it's been a wonderful time for those who are still joining us. We've had Dr. Felu Agbala. She's a postdoctoral a researcher at Tumor Virology. That's at ICGEB Italy. What's the full meaning of ICGEB? Uh,
International Center for Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology.
okay. That's good. I know because of time, we might not be able to talk more because I know some also might be asking questions about how can I be a woman in this research world, because again, it takes a lot of courage to have women within that, because I know most of the time your life is within the lab is your,
Yeah.
it's like your own apartment. So probably one of these days we'll still share more experience. You share more experience about how have you been, how can a woman survive within that
Mm.
system, because I know it's been a great experience. Because of time, what's your own final word? Because as I said, we will surely still have you, bring you back to talk more in subsequent editions. But what's your final word to that lady, that woman who is out there, who is also working day and night to ensure that we enjoy something on the table, that there's food on our table, and she's not really thinking about her health. So, what message do you have for people out there? So, it's very important. And again, for anybody, because you said something that is very key. Whatever you're doing, check also your own health, your level, because I'm very sure there's not everybody that can do every work. I hope I'm right,
Right.
because
You're
your
very
health
correct.
also determines that. So you need to understand your health and see whether you can fit in into that. So because I'm doing it, because Olivia is doing it, because you are doing it, does not mean you have to. So what message do you have for this group of individuals?
Okay, thank you. First thing is know what you can do. Know yourself. Know what you're capable
Mm,
of. And the fact that somebody next to you who has a smaller body frame is able to lift 50 kgs does not mean you with a bigger frame can. We are all different and unique, and that's the
yeah,
beauty of what. Although women are very unique, powerful, extremely amazing people, we love to push ourselves to the limit because even nature has given us the power to do what is sort of the biggest task on earth, which is creation. But at the same time, we should still understand the
yeah,
limits based on our individual biologies. But to every woman in agriculture or whichever field you're in, self sustainability is crucial to career sustainability. There is no you, there is no success of your career without you. So at the
mm,
end of the day, you are the center of attention. So ensure that the source. My father has a common thing that he says, which is very similar to what you said at the beginning, that if you're the source of water that everybody comes to, they drink from you, people do their laundry in you, and they don't. Nobody is taking care of the source of water. Eventually, if it dries up, people would not go thirsty. They will not stop doing laundry.
mhm.
They look for another source. And
Yes,
that's the end of that. So do not be the abandoned source of water. Ensure that self-preservation is key for you. So self-sustainability, career sustainability. Let that be a one-to-one. Thank you very much.
wow. So let's go on a lighter note as we round up. Uh, what's your dream destination? Or
Oh,
you don't like to
okay.
travel?
I love travels, but
Okay.
I would say my permanent dream destination is always my partner's arms. But then whichever place I need to travel to would be the dream for that part. But a permanent one is daddy's arms.
Well, what of okay? So no, probably no location or anywhere you
No,
wish to
because
go.
if I
So I
choose
know
to
probably you've traveled around the world based on your research work. So probably that might not
yeah,
probably really
I
fit
really
you.
do not have a destination. I mean, if I need to travel to a place, that particular place is my dream destination at that particular point. So for
Wow.
now, it is I think Tunis.
Oh wow. So,
Yeah,
but for work, I said, for researchers, you're always in the lab, work. How do you unwind? How do you relax?
good question. Um, with research, there are seasons. Let's say 80% of times it is chaotic, but the 20% is very important. I am somebody who is very, very keen on self preservation. And one thing I've
Mm.
always preached to myself is enjoying the company of myself. It's very important if you're in a field that is fast paced, like research. So sometimes you get home, nothing worked in the lab. Instead of shutting down and feeling sad, music. I love to dance. So I'm in
Wow.
front of my mirror and I'm dancing away everything that happened during the day. I listen to music. And another thing is I've keyed in into a lot of comic movies. Comic movies. I have a list of them that I just go to on YouTube and just
Like,
listen to. Okay. For instance, anything that Apankufo does, I sometimes I
oh,
don't watch it. I just let it play. And there is this
just the
old
laughter.
series, honestly, that is so relaxing for me. And there is this old
Mm.
series, uh, English, something about, oh, sorry, learn how to learn English, something about a foreigners coming to the UK and trying to learn English. I listen to that all the time as well. It's really good. Lucy is another old time British series that I watch. So just basic things that help me take my mind away. I do not relax by reading books. I'm going to tell you, I actually want to stay away from the
No,
books.
no,
Exactly.
even no, your life as a researcher is about books. So you don't have, so yours is more
Exactly.
of that. Though
So
sometimes
picking
it's
up
good
a
also
book is
you
not.
change your,
No, I don't even want to see books at all. So I just want to listen to. I say listen to movies, not watch them, and just
mm,
relax my mind. And most importantly, having somebody in my corner that is my venting system. So I just
yeah.
want to pour it all out, and I feel light, and that's it. So that's how I
Wow.
unwind.
Wow, that's good. That's good, and it's a great lesson because music has a lot of power. It has power
Yes.
to heal. It has power to reflect, and also for you to be transformed. So, once again, thank you very much for joining us, Dr. Ifolu Agbala. We
Thank you
appreciate
very
you,
much.
and we look forward to more engagement with you. So, keep up with the good work, and also keep let's keep developing content that can go down to the grassroots, so that our parents, our brothers, our sisters will be able to understand in plain languages. So that is very important. So thank you very much, and we wish you all the best and great research exploits. And because for every researcher, it's just like when a pregnant woman is inside the labor room, you always want to have that good delivery. So I wish you
Yeah.
success in all your outputs. And
Thank
so
you
do
so
enjoy
much.
the rest of your day. And let's
Thank
keep
you.
engaging and take care. Yeah, bye. Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So it's been a wonderful time on the Food Gist special edition for Women's Month. It's been a very wonderful time, and we believe that you have all learned a lot from this. We've been talking about from farm to table, women shaping the future of food and farmer well-being. Lauren was not able to join. I don't know what really happened. Probably it might be a connection issue from Kenya. So we hope that she'll be able to join us subsequently. And one thing I just want to say is this: I want to thank you, our audience, for those who have joined us today. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. It's been a wonderful time. And also, we appreciate Oliver. Also, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. It was very great insightful engagement with you. So, to our audience and for those who are still going to watch this again, we want to say we love you. We appreciate you for this. So, and as we round up, today's conversation reminds us that the future of food is not just about production, it's about people, it's about women, and it's about our well-being. And don't forget those tests that you're supposed to take for a woman, and also subsequent editions we talk about the men. That's the male part of it. Thank you very much, Olado Kumayo Mioposi. Thank you for that message. So don't forget the well woman examination is very important. Also check your egg quality, so that's very important. The GP check is also very important. The HPV test, that also is very important, and also do your mammogram. So these are things that you need to understand. And make sure when it comes to sustainable agriculture, make sure you ensure that we avoid wastage and we turn the waste into agricultural technology, because this will go a long way to help us. So to everyone that has joined us, thank you very much. As we say, Food Gist is a platform for conversation about food production, about food system, igniting conversations and igniting change in our society. So my name is Dr. Riti Adeshida. I'm the founder of Food Gist Hub, and also it's about Realize Africa. It's an offshoot of Realize Africa, where we try to ensure we have sustainable production. As much as we are developing the community, we need to talk about food production. So that is why it's very important. So I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you, Praise Akeju, also for that. So we hope, by God's grace, as I said, we are going to have more engagement from our guests in subsequent editions. So as we round up today, I'm going to show you like 2 videos for you to understand what food security is all about and food system. Because when we talk about food system and food security, if we don't understand what are some of the principles behind it, it might not really able to understand it. I want to appreciate those who are working behind the scene. Thank you for the Realize Africa staff. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Mary, and all those who are working behind the scene and those who have registered. And please, if you want to be part of Realize Africa, you can send your message. So part of Realize Africa and also for Food Gist. If you want to be part of it, make sure you can send a message. The WhatsApp number is on the screen. And you can also follow us for more engagement online at Food Gist Hub. Food Gist Hub. That's Food Gist Hub on Facebook and also on Instagram. So it's been a wonderful time. We talked about, it's a special women edition, from farm to table, women shaping the future of agricultural well-being. So do enjoy this, because it's very important you understand. So let me just explain what food system is all about. Some of us know about food security. So let me just explain this to you.
Food is not a standalone subject. It's part of a system, the food system. A system that is affected by other global challenges, such as climate change and biodiversity loss. So now, more than ever, integral solutions have to be developed. So how do we contribute to food systems challenges? At Wageningen University and Research, we view food as a system that includes the health of both people and the planet. We work on evidence-based solutions to global, regional, and local resilient food systems. When focusing on solutions, we make sure to not lose sight of the bigger picture: an equal, more sustainable, and healthier society. To achieve this, we focus on 4 main approaches, which are as follows. Enough food for everyone. More than 800 million people around the world are going hungry, and that number rises every day. At the same time, 1/3 of all food produced is wasted. We need to ensure sufficient food for everyone and better consumption patterns in our population. A healthy diet. Whether through undernourishment or overeating, unbalanced diets today cause health problems. Billions of people should have access to a balanced diet and a healthy lifestyle. We have to ensure that nutritious food is accessible and safeguard healthier lifestyles. A fair food system. How is food allocated? Who has access to it? And how much does it cost? The costs and profits from food production vary all along the food supply chain. Food systems should create affordable food for everyone while still bringing in a fair price for farmers and other producers. A future-proof planet. Crucial to today's food security is our adaptability in the face of climate change. We need to future-proof our food production. How? By creating food systems which use resources in a sustainable, circular way, take human health into account, and safeguard biodiversity. At Wageningen University and Research, we partner with governments, private parties, civil society, and research institutes for an integrated approach. By combining our strengths, we can build the best solutions imaginable. Join us in finding answers together. For more information,